Ever been stuck on the toilet pondering life's big questions? You know, those moments when you're just sitting there and suddenly your mind starts wandering to the most profound and sometimes bizarre questions. Like, why is the sky blue? It's one of those questions that seems simple but has a complex scientific explanation involving the scattering of sunlight by the atmosphere. Or how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A classic tongue twister that makes you wonder about the capabilities of a woodchuck.
Don't worry, you're not alone. These moments of deep thought are more common than you might think. Even philosophers get lost in thought sometimes. They spend their lives pondering the big questions, often in the most unexpected places. But unlike most of us, they write their bathroom musings down. These thoughts can lead to groundbreaking ideas and theories that shape our understanding of the world. One such thinker was Immanuel Kant, and boy did he have some ideas about how to live a moral life. His thoughts were not just random musings but well-structured philosophies that have stood the test of time.
Kant wasn't concerned with the color of the sky or chucking woodchucks. His focus was on something far more significant. He was interested in something much bigger: morality. He wanted to understand the principles that govern our ethical decisions.
He wanted to know what makes an action right or wrong, regardless of the consequences. This quest for understanding led him to some profound conclusions. This led him to develop a little something called the Categorical Imperative. It's a cornerstone of his moral philosophy. Don't let the fancy name scare you. It's actually a pretty simple idea. The Categorical Imperative is about acting according to maxims that you would want to become universal laws. Well, as simple as philosophy gets anyway, it challenges us to think about the broader implications of our actions. Think of it like a moral compass, guiding you through the ethical wilderness. It helps you navigate the complex terrain of right and wrong, ensuring that your actions align with universal moral principles. So, the next time you find yourself lost in thought during a bathroom break, remember that you're in good company. Some of the greatest minds in history have had their most profound insights in the most mundane moments. Who knows, maybe your next big idea is just a bathroom break away. Keep pondering, keep questioning, and you might just stumble upon something extraordinary.
Imagine a world without traffic lights, stop signs, or even basic driving etiquette. Chaos, right? Cars would be crashing into each other, pedestrians would be at constant risk, and getting from point A to point B would be a nightmare. That's what life would be like without morality. Just as traffic rules keep us safe on the road, moral principles guide our actions and interactions, ensuring a harmonious society. We need rules to live by, principles that guide our actions and help us distinguish right from wrong. Without them, we'd be lost, like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly in a sea of uncertainty.
Enter Immanuel Kant, an 18th century German philosopher who took morality very seriously. Kant believed that morality wasn't just a matter of personal preference or cultural norms. He wasn't satisfied with wishy-washy answers or subjective opinions. He sought a more rigorous, objective foundation for ethics. He wanted a rock-solid foundation for ethical decision-making, something universal and absolute. He believed that moral laws should apply to everyone, everywhere, at all times.
His solution? The categorical imperative? A principle that states our actions should be guided by maxims or rules that we could rationally will to be universal laws. This means that before you act, you should consider whether you'd be okay with everyone else acting in the same way.
In other words, if you wouldn't want everyone doing something, you shouldn't do it either. Sounds simple enough, right? But this principle requires deep reflection and honesty with oneself. But like any good philosophical concept, there's a bit more to it than meets the eye. Kant's ideas challenge us to think critically about our actions and their broader implications, pushing us to strive for a more ethical world.
Let's break it down. The categorical imperative isn't about specific actions. It's about the principles behind them. It's a way of evaluating motivations for action. Instead of focusing on the consequences, it asks us to consider the intention and the universal applicability of our actions. It's like asking yourself, what if everyone did this? Would the world be a better place if this action were universalized? If the answer is chaos, injustice, or a world you wouldn't want to live in, then that action is probably a no-go. This principle helps us navigate complex moral landscapes by providing a clear, albeit challenging guideline.
For example, lying. Imagine a world where everyone lied all the time. The very fabric of trust that holds society together would disintegrate. Trust would crumble, communication would be impossible, and society would descend into anarchy. Relationships, both personal and professional, would be strained to the breaking point. Not exactly a recipe for a happy and functional world, is it? The categorical imperative helps us see the broader implications of our actions, encouraging us to act in ways that promote harmony and trust.
The categorical imperative challenges us to think beyond our immediate desires and consider the bigger picture. It asks us to act not out of self-interest, but out of a sense of duty to the greater good. It's about acting in a way that respects the inherent dignity and worth of all human beings, not just ourselves. This means considering the impact of our actions on others and striving to create a world where everyone can thrive.
It's about creating a world where everyone is treated fairly and has the opportunity to flourish. By adhering to universal principles, we can build a society that values justice, equality, and mutual respect. This is the essence of the categorical imperative, a timeless guide for ethical living. As we dive headfirst into the quirky universe of philosophy and wander through the maze of deep thoughts, remember, the pursuit of knowledge is like trying to find the end of a rainbow. Spoiler alert, there is no end, but there might be a leprechaun. If you've had a blast exploring these mind-bending ideas with me today and love the endless chase for answers, join our crew of curious minds. Smash that subscribe button and hit the bell to stay in the loop on this wild intellectual ride. Let's keep hunting down the sunsets of wisdom together. Drop your hilarious or profound musings in the comments below, and until our next brain-twisting adventure, keep questioning, keep pondering, and keep hunting for that elusive sunset of knowledge. Subscribe to at Chasing Sunsets 49, and let's sail through more thought-provoking and sometimes head-scratching journeys together. Until next time, stay curious, keep laughing, and keep chasing those sunsets of enlightenment. Take care and watch out for leprechauns.